The government is not here, is not anywhere, is not present. Only Lebanese people, students, elderly people, youth, we are building the country.
The day after the blast, volunteers gathered in Mar Mikhail, one of Beirut's worst-hit neighbourhoods, to register victims' needs, distribute aid, and plan how to rebuild. They're now getting 3,000 or 4,000 volunteers daily, helping up to 15,000 people each day. These young people are repurposing skills like party organising to coordinate a widespread humanitarian emergency response. 30-year-old Maroun lost his own home and office, and 3 of his closest friends were killed. He's been working 20-hour days for more than 2 weeks.
And you're getting no government funding?
And we will not take anything from them. We don't want them. We just want them to leave. And we will take care of the country.
For nearly a year, activists like these have taken to the streets, demanding the downfall of a political system they see as corrupt and self-serving. Now, they're demanding that any aid coming into the country go directly to them and local NGOs. It's the networks forged during the protest movement that have allowed them to respond so quickly and effectively to this crisis. They say they've learned they can't depend on anyone but each other.
Every single person in this government is a crook. They destroyed our past, they destroyed our present, and they are destroying our future.
The grassroots effort extends beyond Lebanon's borders. They've been working with Lebanese expats around the world to get aid and medical supplies into the country manually until the slow-moving wheels of NGO bureaucracy turn.
So this is the aid, as you can see. This is from London. Okay. And you can see the more and more of aids are coming.
So a community fundraises locally, then one person buys a plane ticket, they get on a plane and they bring as many suitcases as they can carry.
While we're there, a representative from the US Embassy turns up.
Don't bail them out. Don't bail them out. To us. We're distributing it. Don't bail them out.
So this is why it's important to come down here to the ground and see.
Thank you so much.
It's very important.
The next day, it becomes clear why. Undersecretary David Hale has come from Washington to look at how to get Lebanon back on its feet. And just hours after landing, it's not the government he's meeting with.
We don't have any government. The government doesn't care. It's us. We're here for each other.
And this should be a transition.
We are the government.
That's why this is my first stop for that very reason.
The operation, dubbed Min Taht al-Radam, from beneath the rubble, is a tall order, and these young people may end up over-promising. While international aid organisations may be unwieldy and have to work around political concerns, they have experience managing big sums of money and mechanisms to get hard cash into the country quickly. These volunteers say foreign governments and NGOs should be working with them.
This is the first time we see these people coming and checking on organizations and walking around with people, asking people. Usually they only meet up with the government. So maybe this will change.
Like many international donors, the United States has taken a hard line on aid to Lebanon, saying they won't let any money fall into corrupt hands. But that's easier said than done. And while they say they won't funnel money through the government, they're still working with increasingly unpopular state institutions.
Because we have tons of meals ready to eat, and the army is helping us distribute them.
Across Beirut, food has been the fastest response in the relief effort, with the WFP and US Aid working to get Beirut port up and running enough to receive some deliveries.
Part of the key messages that we sent and we were repeating is that we will not accept for aid to be politicized. At the end of the day, we are here to ensure that the people in need get the aid.
But many of those people say the aid they're receiving isn't what they need. They don't want bags of food, an easy win for NGOs because it can be distributed fast and looks good to donors, but cash to rebuild their homes and businesses. Just a few streets away is Karantina, one of Beirut's poorest neighborhoods. The area was ravaged by the blast. Residents say they've long been neglected and still aren't getting the help they need.
Every day they bring 2 boxes, 3 boxes, but we don't want food aid. A lot has been distributed and people are throwing it away. We need people to send money to rebuild the house.
Nabil's house used to have 4 walls. Now it has just 2, and those are cracked beyond repair. He tells us it's even worse upstairs, but it's too dangerous to take us up there.
So Nabil, this used to be your kitchen, and the entire wall collapsed outward into the street.
Inside what? Inside.
I was getting a half salary, then it became a quarter salary, one work, one day no work, and then this. We are broke. Zero. We have nothing. We can't rebuild. We have money in the bank, but they won't give it to us.
Nabil's neighbours are refusing to move out, even as cranes come to remove what's left of the building's roof. They're scared to leave in case developers swoop in and level the area to build new high-rises in this prime seafront location. Unless this community gets a cash injection, and soon, they're out of options. A short walk away is the deformed structure that's at the heart of this crisis. Not just the explosion, but the years of mismanagement that allowed it to happen and bled so much money to corruption that Lebanon was already on its knees when the disaster hit. Beirut Port. Riyad Kobaisi is a Lebanese investigative journalist who's been digging into corruption at the port and airport for years. He's been arbitrarily arrested, repeatedly threatened, and beaten to a pulp for trying to reveal what goes on in the shadows of these shipping crates.
There's like a famous slogan here at the port. Whenever Mr. Benjamin Franklin is there, problems are solved because this is not a government. This is a mafia.
That's because the port is run like another public authority, the parliament. Each position is reserved for a particular religious sect, and they're linked to political factions. They choose who they want for each job, and then those people take bribes, both to smuggle goods in and to avoid import taxes, draining vital state revenue. It's estimated up to $2 billion a year are lost just from Beirut Port. Hundreds of millions of dollars in donations have poured in since the blast, but it caused an estimated $15 billion in damages to the city. And with political factions holding tight to their control of the only entry points for bringing in aid, each will likely take a cut of the pie. For Nabil and others like him, despair is setting in as they realize they may not get the help they need.
It's the first time I've cried. I've lived here through the bombardment, through 30 years of war. If the house can't be repaired, what can I do? There's no future for us.